Words fall like lightning bolts from clouds in your mind.
Thomas is one of those high-energy people that you just love having around you. I've known him for 2 years, and we were brought together by, amongst other things, our love of music. I caught up with him in London recently, and this is what he had to say.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about how the pharmaceutical industry can be much more engaged in thinking about what's good for patients. I think for a long time we've been thinking mostly about how we can develop drugs. I work in a pharmaceutical company, and I think more and more of my colleagues are starting to think that there's much more to than just the medicines. And we need to be much better understanding what the needs are for patients. Actually, we will all sooner or later be patients one way or another, so I think it's very important that we get the full picture. And we should take a minute in our lives in the pharmaceutical industry to really consider how can we learn from patients, how can we get patient insights. It's much more than just treating with drugs. It's the whole information about the disease. It's understanding the needs, the conditions. It's having conversations with patients and taking them in much earlier in the development of new medicines and new treatments, in building information. You know, when you look at the package inserts, most of that is rubbish to most patients. It's not helpful. How can you make that simpler? How can you think about compliance? How can you think about well-being? I think the interface between health and disease is getting more blurred, and it's really much more about creating health than just thinking disease.